how to create a free downloadable ebook. So, episode 88. We've been out here for the last few days, enjoying the sunshine. I'm actually at, I'm embarrassed to say I'm at some farm, some cutesy vintage farm. I'd love to tell you what it's called, but I've forgotten the name of the thing as I drove in through the gate. Already long forgotten. I think it might have been Fisher's, something like that. Anyway, it's South Surrey vintage farm, can't be that many. It's lovely, it's down by the river again. We're out in the open air. For those of you on audio, you'll hear little aeroplanes going past, crows, all that kind of stuff. But you can't see the hot sunshine that's baking the back of my legs. It's lovely. Anyway, back to that ebook. So we've taught you about creating a course, what to create it on, how to create it. But how about an ebook? Some people just want to deliver an ebook. Okay, two types of ebook we're going to discuss. I mean, obviously there's loads, but just two basic concepts. One is the short form. So if you're using it for a lead magnet, for a free giveaway to get people onto the list, to get their permission, then I suggest something along the sort of 25 to 40 pages. It's actually difficult to say, but when I say that, that's going to include images, it's going to be puffed out, it's going to be a nice typeface, etc. It's difficult to say how many pages, because it depends what shape, how you lay it out, how imagey it is, and what you're actually going to, what we're going to talk about. Now, if it's if it's something of real value, then perhaps you're looking at 145 pages, maybe 200. I personally, a lot of people give away big ebooks. I personally don't recommend giving away something of that size because, to be honest, when it's free, people don't get the value. They don't feel, they haven't paid any money, so they're not desperate. And an ebook, if you got it for free, 145 pages, you might want to read it in your spare time. Means you've got to print it out. If you may want to print it out, that's a lot of paper. That's going to get through your ink cartridges, blow up your printer, whatever. You're going to be annoyed. You just may not get around to it. If it's an ebook that you've paid for, it's going to be different. So first of all, let's cover the first one. What do you need? Obviously, a computer, the internet. What I recommend to keep the price down to virtually free is you write it in Word, or if you're using a Mac, write it in Pages, or write it with Google Docs. Then add images. If you do use Pages, by the way, on a Mac, you can format it into a beautiful looking thing without having to outsource, but you can still outsource it. Write it, put images in, put links in, simply save that, and when you go to print in any of these, print as a PDF. That saves it into a PDF. Job done, one document, hey bingo, hey presto. Now if you want it into anything fancy, some encrypted PDF, something like that people can't break down or break into and change the words, go to fiverr.com, Fiverr.com, and get someone to do that for $5. Really, they do. Try it. Trust me. But if you want longer, if you want the paid thing, it's going to be basically the same thing, just fluffed out. Okay? So what else do you need to deliver? How about Dropbox? You have to be using Dropbox. If you don't know what Dropbox is, go to marketingforowners.com/tools, and look, there's a link to Dropbox. I think it probably gives us an explanation. Dropbox, use the free one. You can deliver stuff. You can store it online, give a link, put a link in an email, and deliver that to people. They'll download it on any device and they'll be able to read it. Either the long one or the short one, doesn't matter. So then how do you deliver it? Now, I recommend really strongly, in other words, don't do it any other way other than this, using an email service. And by that, I don't mean your ISP. I mean someone like Aweber or MailChimp or Infusionsoft or Constant Contact. Now, personally, I only use MailChimp and Aweber, and I strongly recommend Aweber. I've used it for a lot longer than MailChimp, and I've got, I think, 3 accounts with Aweber, and quite a few things running through it. It's brilliant. And at the moment, I think they do a free trial. They certainly do a $1 trial, so you can dive in and try it. They've got loads of system tutorials. But the reason you need an email autoresponder is because, first of all, you can't do this manually. You need it to set up so when someone requests, they fill in your form, they request it, in other words, they put their name and their email, or just their email, don't have to collect their name, that automatically triggers a welcome email that has the download link in it. Now that would be delivered at 3 in the morning, midnight, 5 in the morning, when you're on holiday, when you're asleep, when you're on a golf course, when you're down by the river delivering or recording podcasts. You don't have to worry about it. It's automated, and we're all about automation. The other thing is, if you are very popular and you start sending them out from your joeblogs@gmail or joeblogs@fireprotection.com or whatever you are, you will be delivering a lot of emails, and you will be flagged by ISPs as a spammer. People that send out a lot of emails and addresses are monitored, and when they have links in and when they have certain things that trigger, you will just go into spam, and you won't be able to get out of it. You won't even know that's happening. People won't get your emails. They don't care. They don't look in spam. Didn't arrive. Who cares? It was free, etc. Don't do it. Just don't do it, please. It's not going to make any difference to me. Just go to Aweber, try it. They provide the forms, newsletter things. You've got to be doing a newsletter and everything else anyway. You can do all of that from the same account, by the way. You pay for how many emails are in there. So it gradually builds up. It starts at a price. Once you go over 1,000 or 2,000 or 5,000, the price just goes up. So you don't pay too much. Anyway, so back to writing it. I can sense that some of you are thinking, I don't want to write. So how about this? Remember the old adage that says, if you want to tell someone how to do something, 3 stages. Tell them what you're going to tell them. Tell them what you told them. That's it. So in other words, introduce and explain what you're going to do. Explain all about it. Tell them everything you know. And then summarize what you just told them. Okay? Included within that, you want to introduce yourself, explain who you are so they can get the trust and get to like you. You want to give them examples. You want to tell them your story. How did you figure this out? What couldn't you do? What was the problem you had that created this? Yes, you're problem solving. You're problem solving for them. You probably did it for yourself. Who else do you know that had the same problem? How did they discover this? Who have you shown this to? Who's told you it was wonderful and they got this result from it? Okay, a bit of that. So that's an introduction, building up the part. Now tell them everything. How many chapters do you want? Say if it's the short form, how about 7 chapters, if you're going to use chapters at all? An introduction to the system, an introduction to you, that's 2. Then 3, 4, 5, 6, 4 chapters on it, and then the last one, 7, the summary. And the summary can say, for the more, a better explanation, more detail, go to, and that's where your upsell is, that's where you sell them. If you've got something to sell, or just tell them you'll give them more information over a period. What's the difference between the short free one and the longer paid one? Let me give you an example. Remember I just explained email providers like MailChimp and Aweber and so on. In that part or that chapter, you would say, so the way to deliver this would be to use an email delivery service. Explain roughly what that means in a summary format, and you say, here are the ones we recommend and use are Aweber and MailChimp. Here are links to their service, they're very affordable, etc., etc. A couple of others that don't use but are well-liked, Infusionsoft, Constant Contact, something like that. That would be in the free one. That would be giving the customer information on what to do. In the paid version, that is 3 or 4 times as long, you would say, okay, So for example, let's pick Aweber, our favorite tool. First of all, you would sign up for your account. When you get your email, you go and you log in. You go to this page, you create a list with an example like this screenshot. You would then create a form. Again, like this screenshot, in that form, enter this, don't do that, do this, and then do that. Tell them how to do it, exactly how. Get their money's worth, the full detail. That's what it's all about. That's the difference. Free is a summary, paid is the real meat. Tell them everything. But anyway, this is easy. If you can't write, jot down the bullets of what you know, and by each bullet a little summary, then get online, hire a writer to fluff that out. When it comes back, read it. If you don't like it, get them to beef it up a bit, read it again, then send it to a proofreader. You can get all these on proofreaders on Fiverr. Don't give me excuses. Can you not add your images in? Get a report designer, a graphic designer, give them the text, give them the images and say, please create that. Seriously, there are no excuses. Even I can do this, and I do not design my own. I haven't got time. Why would I when I can get it done for a few dollars, $50, something like that? Why would I? Anyway, it's easier than you think. So, please give it a go. Today, friendly follow. Back to Twitter. That's the end of the ebook thing. Today we're going to recommend Barry Moltz. That's M-O-L-T-Z or T-Z for those of you in North America. Barry has been around. He explains he's started loads of small businesses and sold them, and he's failed a gazillion times in the last 20 years. He's written books. And by the way, people who failed are better to learn from, because that's when you learn what not to do. He's written books. He's been on TV. He is in the Entrepreneurship Hall of Fame. And that made me laugh when I saw that, because I've never heard of it. Hey, but it sounds good, and Barry's in it. He really is good, by the way. His thing is teaching people how to unlock their long-forgotten potential. Please go visit him. His handle is @BarryMoltz. You'll see the links at marketingforowners.com/podcast. It's all there, same with the others. I will see you tomorrow.